You know about reverse pitch, but I'll still give a quick one-liner. The whole thought is, you guys as startups are always pitching to investors. This is one such setup where investors will be pitching to you, right? Ask them the questions that you have in your heart. It's okay to ask critical questions. We want you to ask those questions, but today, after this, when you're going back, you should have fundamental clarity on what are investors investing in, who should you pitch to, how can you do that, etc., etc.
Good evening, everyone. Are we entrepreneurs in this room? Come on, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so Pranay set the context. I think, this is your opportunity to, grill the investors, right? The investors kind of grill you. So this is your opportunity to grill them. But be kind, because eventually you want to go up to them after this to ask for your money, right? So don't speak too soon also. Okay, so with that, I think before we kick off, just to get a sense of who all we have in this room, how many of us are entrepreneurs with existing operations? Oh. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have each of these lovely gentlemen, there are no ladies here, come up here, speak for a couple of minutes about themselves, about their fund, typical questions on what they like to invest in, what is the sweet spot, call out some portfolio companies that you're really proud of, how would you like to engage with entrepreneurs, what do you really like, what do you don't like.
Yeah, hi, I am Bipin from Lead Angels. So Lead Angels is a small angel network. So we invest in very early stage companies, and we prefer, in fact, to work with companies during their very early stage and we invest and take them to Series A level. So we have invested in 7 deals in last 1 year. So in fact, this network was established 1.5 years back and established by a team from IIT Bombay. So including me, there are 2 other co-founders in the network. So we are sector agnostic, and we focus on scalable business, and that's what is our shortlisting criteria. And also team is the very key thing. Right team should be doing solving some problem in market, and there should be market opportunity. And so those 3 things are very important, summarizing everything. So first is team, second is market opportunity, and third thing is scalability of business.
I'll try and keep this brief. So I'm with IDG Ventures. We are a venture stage fund. We do technology only. We do early stage only. What that means is, from a ticket size perspective, we do anything from 500,000 to 3 crores to about 7-8 million in the first check, and then we subsequently follow up and support the companies, in subsequent rounds. So we've been investing in India since 2006. We've made about 42 odd investments. And we do most in technology. E-commerce is something. E-commerce, consumer internet is something we've done a lot of. Some of our bigger companies, let me just call them that, not better companies, but bigger companies include Flipkart, which is also now, it was originally Myntra, and we were invested in Flipkart. We've also invested in a lot of vertical e-commerce plays. So First Try, Lenskart, Zivame as some of these examples. In travel, we've done Yatra and Tripoto pretty recently. We've also made a lot of investments in software products because we think the enterprise space is something which has a big market addressability, both in India as well as outside. So we've about 35% of our companies are software product B2B enterprise plays, both in India as well as Indo-US corridors.
2 questions for you, sir. The first one being, what is the risk appetite of IDG Ventures? What kind of, you've invested in several ventures. Some of them turned out to be more risky than the others. Tripoto was probably risky. So, but you said it's an exception. So what's the risk appetite?
Our risk appetite has been quite high at times, quite low at times, and it's come back up to being fairly high. In our early days, when we were learning and we were novices, most of us, or some of us had been doing this for a while. I was a novice when I joined, but we made some really maverick investments because we liked the team or we really liked the idea, and most of them actually did not pan out. And every investor you'll see will have that fair share. You hear about the successes, you almost never hear about the failures.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for providing this opportunity to be part of this event. I'm Saras. I'm representing VenturEast. So I'll just quickly walk you through in terms of what we do and what kind of companies we fund. Our focus, actually, let me start back with our history properly. One of the first sort of VC funds in India. Long history of starting in like 95 and all. So we've raised subsequent funds. This is the 4th generation fund that we are currently running. And the sector that we sort of focus on, we have actually 2 streams of funds with 2 separate teams. One team is focused around healthcare, health tech, and life sciences and clean tech, and the other fund, which I'm part of, called Proactive Fund, we focus around consumer and technology sector. We essentially Series A and Series B guys, frankly, just like IDG, but as things are changing and as we see a lot of youngsters like you coming up and starting up companies, we are seeing, we are taking keen interest in seed stage as well. So when I say seed stage, again, we won't be doing 50 lakhs or 20 lakh kind of deal, because as a fund that becomes really difficult to manage and add value. So essentially, even if we are doing seed stage deal, it would be 500K and sort of upwards, with a clear intent that a lot of these companies would eventually come up for subsequent round of funding at Series A, where we again top up our money.
Hello everyone, my name is Hiro Mashita. Originally I come from Japan, but I live in Singapore right now. And then I'm doing an investment in US, Japan, China, Southeast Asia, and then India. Woohoo! But first of all, actually my investment thesis is like the opportunity basis. I really want to contribute the forming the good ecosystem, Asia and Western European countries. I think the most important point for me is like one very good person with the strong will. Number 2, good business and product. Number 3, good appropriate timing. So actually, 3 issues I mainly focus on when I talk with the entrepreneurs, and then most likely I like to focus on more like mobile internet space, and then more like focusing on more like supporting global supporting a growth of the companies, and also supporting a global expansion of the companies. Actually, I just started investment in India this year. Last year, I got into the India market to establish more like a good relationship, to make more friends with the VC VC people, and then accelerator and incubators. This year, I just started the investment. The first investment done the early spring April. The second one done just this week, and this month and next month, I'm gonna sign the document and also the wire transfer the money for the 5 companies. Actually, first half of this year, I like to increase the more new investment, and the later half of this year, I like to focus on more like a support of the growth of the companies.
First question, I think, from my side to kick things off, what is your target deals to do in India this year? How many deals do you think you'll do in India?
Deals? This year, hopefully 10 to 20.
20?
Yes.
And what's going to be your average size investment in some deals?
Well, it really depends. For example, like really the first stage, the C round, maybe the startup. could be a very small amount as well.
Like
sometimes
like $100K, $100,000.
Oh yeah, 150K, US dollars, like that. Yeah. But the thing is, like a Series A or maybe pre-Series A, 100K to maybe 500K. And maybe if I feel, oh, this is great and this is a really chance, maybe I put 1 million. Yeah, that's it. But that's it.
Hi guys, thank you. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Abhi. On the screen, I'm here to represent Sequoia Capital. Next month we'll complete 9 years in India. We are an investment fund that focuses on 3 broad sectors: technology, consumer, and healthcare. I would imagine technology is the main area of interest over here. Then this is what I focus on as well. I'll be very quick about this. We are on our 4th fund, have about a little over $2 billion under management. We invest on the technology front. We invest we lead rounds and partner with companies starting at check sizes all the way from 500K to about 50 million. So a very, very broad range. Before you guys ask what does seed mean for us, I think for us seed is, internally we kind of think of it as whiteboard plus. So we've definitely made investments in companies that are pre-revenue. We've made investments in companies where founders haven't quit their jobs. We've made investments in companies that have a lot of revenue. We've made investments in seed companies that are profitable. So there is no right answer. And all of this data is basically from the last 12 months. So very hard to sort of say specifically what there's no real framework that we look for. I would say there's only one thing that we do look for. And that's probably best described by one word, which is audacity. We want to find founders and partner with them when they have a vision and a plan to execute against that vision to create a monster company. It doesn't matter if that company is in India. It doesn't matter if that company is in the US. We have a US partnership. We have a China partnership, an Israel partnership. We have a lot of companies that start in India that go international. There are plenty of examples of that. I'm happy to talk about those. We have made investments in companies that have no Indian founder, no Indian person on the team, but they have a lot of users in India. And of course, we made a lot of investments in companies that start off in India and then pretty much within the first few months go out internationally. And I think one of the advantages we have as a firm is we have a very strong group of people in-house who can help companies do that.
So my question is, I'm in touch with a couple of angel seed investors. Everybody talk about traction. What is good traction? Getting more numbers or getting a good brand?
Yes, and so this varies from everybody. I can talk about me as an individual, not so much us as a firm. As an individual, what I look for in traction is some semblance of product market fit. Right? What does that mean? Especially in early stage companies, we are very happy to take things like execution risk. We are not usually comfortable. We are usually very happy taking technology risk. We are usually not very comfortable taking market risk and not very comfortable taking team risk. So when you look at traction, what does that mean? It means that you have some provable data points for repeatably and successfully servicing a customer's problem. Right? And both those things are important: repeatable and successful. Right? Successful being, are you solving a real problem in a really good way? And repeatable being, is it not just a one-off customer? Do you have a way of scaling that go-to-market? And you can prove those with data points that are as small as 5 customers. You may not be able to prove it with 50 customers. It depends on the quality of the data. So again, no right answers, but that's what at least we look for.
Hi, I represent Nirvana. We are an early stage fund focused on internet, mobile, and digital payment. The sweet spot for us is a Series A or a pre-Series A deal. The kind of checks that we write range somewhere between $500,000 till $4 million. That's the first check that we would write into a company and would like to invest in next rounds as well. In terms of businesses that we like, we typically like businesses that are indexed to consumer demand. So it could be a B2C play or a B2B2C play. And in terms of the belief system that we have, answering his question, what we look into a company are four things. One is the team, second is the market size, fourth is the business model, third is the business model, and fourth is the value prop. So these four things we would surely care for, but in terms of few things that we wouldn't compromise on is the integrity of the team and the market size. Yeah, so in terms of few investments that we have made 8 investments till date. Names that you might have heard is a company called Zopper, which is a hyperlocal shopping companion app. Then there is a company called CartRocket, which enables merchants to list on multiple marketplaces. And then there is a real estate classified portal called housing.com.
How many of you, being an entrepreneurs, how many of you really understand Series A, Series B, dilution, funding and all that? Lot of questions. Say as an entrepreneur, I would say I have developed this product, and now when I pitch into all the equity investors, I really don't know what is Series A, Series B, how much I need to raise, what is the utilization of fund would be. Everybody has talked about here equity. How many really know what are the sources of revenue or what are the sources of fundraising for any startup or any entrepreneur or any SME or MSME? Any idea? So, okay, we at Capital Float are really disrupting that space. We are purely venture debt company. Where we are identifying startups, MSME, SMEs who are in need of funds, but they really don't have the time to invest so much time, say, on equity side or dealing with investors for a couple of months and deciding upon whether they are getting the funding or not. So here what we are doing, if you have, say, regular revenue from any of your product, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs a month, and you are in need of funds, say as low as 3 lakhs or as up to 3 crore, we are there for you. A lot of companies we have identified where they don't have access to the formal funds like from traditional banks, or they don't have the say required skill set to approach these investors, big investors like Sequoia, IDG or anybody else. So we are catering to these companies where they have regular revenue, they are in need of funds as low as 3 lakhs for a shorter duration for 3 months and can go up to 18 months. And over the last 1.5 years, we almost disbursed more than 45 crore, and there is not a single account which got delayed by more than 5 days. And we are not confined to any industry, say tech, mobile or anything else. We are open to every industry. And most of our portfolio companies are non-tech companies.
Firstly, I think thank you all for coming out here. And thank you so much for having us here in the 91springboard team. You guys have been fantastic. Before I start anything, a big round of applause for Anand, Pranay, Rico, and all these guys. Thank you. So I'm from Matrix Partners. We're a VC fund based out of Mumbai. We've just started an office in Bangalore as well. We have 3 units across the world, US, China, and India. We started out in India in 2007. Operated out of a 3,000 crore fund, 2 funds, different funds, 350 million. I'll keep it as short as possible. I will be around till the beer gets over. So,
okay.
So you guys can just catch me around. Majorly, we invest in consumer tech, offline consumer. A large part of our portfolio in offline consumer is healthcare services. I think most of the guys over here will be in the tech space. In terms of what interests us, I think it is not space, but more entrepreneurs. More often than not, we've invested in spaces because entrepreneurs have convinced us to do so. In terms of what we look at, on probably the stage, I'll go with the stage. So we invest across seed, Series A and Series B stages. Typical sweet spot is the Series A stage, which is essentially $2 to $5 million. But we do selective seed stage investments, which is sub 1 million, and selective Series B, which is plus 5 million. What we look at, 3-4 very important things. I think there are a bunch of much well-known personalities here who've already laid down what it takes for an investment. So I will keep it very short. And so especially prior to Matrix, I was an entrepreneur myself, and I went through that 12 to 14 month phase where I could not raise any money. So I understand what people look at. They don't look at somebody like me. Generally, what we look at is first and foremost the entrepreneur. Right? What is the team? What are the skill set? Are they the best guys for the space that they're working in? Second is how big is the market? Third is what is your proposition, right? How scalable and defensible is what you are doing? These are 3-4 things. Can get into specifics, whatever you guys are doing. Would love to have a chat with each one of you. I'll be around for as long as you guys can make me wait.
All right. Okay, with that, thank you so much, folks. There's still anything here, but big round of applause for all our investors. So folks, here, I know there's lots more questions. Hopefully some of them are around. You can convince them they'll be around, but it's up to you. Okay, and all the best. Thank you.
Yeah.